A very good morning to you. This is Fixing the Nation, one conversation at a time on NTV, Nation FM, across all our digital platforms. It's Janet Bogwa, Eric Latif, and Mariam Bishar. And Eid Mubarak to you all, and to you all.
So to all our brothers.
No, we've had that fight
many times.
Many times. So we're saying to all.
Yeah.
I just go right back to my days in Mombasa around this time, and it invokes some kind of memories and nostalgia. But I'm excited to get into the deeper meaning. Even then we did, but this today is important, I think.
I will share some of that. Just one bit
core
of memory. Like something.
Growing up in Mombasa.
That you remember around
Ramadan as a whole, and then Eid.
See, when I'm very clever, and then my colleagues are like, we need receipts. Usiseme tu when I was. No. I think even just things like Marikiti, just the vibe, our brothers and sisters, our brothers coming from the mosque, and just that sense of community and joy and giving. That's what comes to mind. I just remember, especially at dusk, is it? Yeah, later in the evening. That sense of community and belonging is what, and I literally can see myself pale tu Marikiti around those sides. That's what comes to mind. Core memory is being there as a child. Many others after that, going to my friend's house to, for iftar. Zara was her name. So every year there was like a different core memory. So I don't know, it just feels like a part of childhood. But I think it needs to be extended beyond that. Just not the anecdotal bits of it, but just like, go a little bit deeper. So that even if you're going to do it with your colleagues, you also have a deeper understanding of what it is that it means to them.
Very true.
What is that? Like, so what's Ramadan?
Yeah.
So it's, yes, ni mwezi mtukufu mfungo wa Ramadan, ni sawa, kufunga nini, why? So it's about prayers and all. But what's the genesis of it? And what's the whole meaning of it? I think that's a good conversation to have today.
Absolutely.
Mariam.
It's our conversation for the hour. And of course, we've made it intentional to understand, like you've said, the meaning behind it, so that you are able to, one, celebrate if you are celebrating Eid today. And also if you, kuna watu wanatembea tu ati na sahani wakingojea kupata good fortune mahali. Sinia. Lakini hata ukitembea na hiyo sinia, kuwa na some knowledge behind, So we're joined in studio by Sheikh Ratib Abdunoor. He is a Sheikh at Jamia Mosque, and of course he'll be talking to us about his exact work and this holy month. Good morning. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
It's good to have you. Before anything else, we usually start off with a quote, and Janet will share the quote with us. Tell us kama inakubamba or not.
Unaweza tu sema wacha tuendelee na conversation if it's not that. Maya Angelou, she once said, people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel.
MashaAllah. MashaAllah. Okay, good morning viewers. Kwa majina naitwa Sheikh Ratib Abdunoor na ni da'wa officer katika msikiti wa Jamia. Tukieleza maana ya da'wa nilikuwa naambia Latif hapa kwamba ni propagation. Da'wa inatokamana kama neno kuita ama mwito. So da'wa, which is calling, unaita watu kwa njia ya Mwenyezi Mungu, ambayo ndio Uislamu. So da'wa officer kama Jamia Mosque tuko na different departments. The core responsibility ya msikiti ni establish prayers. Lakini inaenda beyond just establishment of the 5 daily prayers. Kuna other activities as well. So our department, from the da'wa department, that is the key department at the mosque. So I'm part of that department.
Sheikh, thank you for joining us today. As we mark this day, which is, so it's the end of the month of fasting, right?
Yes.
So people know Ramadan. I mean, and we know Ramadan because Muslims fast.
Yeah.
And then at the end, there's this one holiday where they now mark the end of the fasts to celebrate Eid. And we also, there are those anecdotally, because we've gone to school, all of us in Kenya. We hear, it was about Prophet Muhammad and deciding to pray. But what briefly is that genesis of Ramadan?
Okay, you see, Ramadan, it's not only unique to the Muslims, but even the other books also, there was fasting. Only that for us, we fast during the month of Ramadan, but this fasting was also established to other nations during different other months. For example, like in one of the verses, Allah says, Kutiba alaykumus siyamu kama kutiba ala alladhina min qablikum la'allakum tattaqun. The fasting has been ordained upon you Muslims as it was made compulsory upon the other previous nations. And the main objective of fasting is for you to attain piety. Ili mtu aeze kupata uchaji Mungu. So the main reason for fasting sio tu kwamba mtu ashinde na njaa mchana kutwa, ashinde na kiu, but na ultimate goal which is taqwa. We call it taqwa, piety, ambaye ni ucha Mungu. So that is the main objective of fasting. Ya kwamba mtu aeze kudevelop ucha Mungu katika moyo wake. Ndio maana unapata katika mwezi wa Ramadhan Waislamu wanakuwa na ule unyenyekevu, wanakuwa na pia upendo baina yao, na pia unakuwa na moyo wa kutaka kushare. And also fasting is one of the 5 pillars of Islam. So tuna fast during the month of Ramadan, it's also one of the 5 pillars of the Islamic religion. Yeah.
And we'll talk about those pillars, and then we'll go into zakat and the importance of giving as well.
Yes.
But you've mentioned, si ati ujinyime tu ama chakula na maji and everything else. That's what people know, that Muslims are fasting from food and drink, from sunrise to sunset. What else are you meant to fast from?
You see, fasting is Arabic word which means al-imsak, to abstain. There are specific groups of things which you need to abstain from. It's not only food and drink, but also intimacy. You have to avoid that one. So these are the 3 major nullifiers of fasting: food, drink, and intimacy. Also, there are other things which you also are encouraged to keep away from. However, they do not nullify your fasting, like lying, like maybe being abusive, like maybe vulgar language. You try to avoid that one also. They may not necessarily nullify your fasting, lakini vizuri ujiepushe nao ili uwe karibu na Mungu wako. So all ni kwamba mtu uweze kujirekebisha kitabia. That is the main goal of fasting.
Teacher. So fasting is during the sunlight hours. Food, drink, intimacy as well.
Yes.
During the sunlight hours.
Yes.
So after you break the fast at night, you can engage in intimacy.
Very good, very well.
That's the one you wanted to ask.
That's all here.
I need it just to be clear.
True.
And what does somebody do when they're struggling, let's say in the middle of a fast? How do you talk to people and community about saying, unaweza fika mahali, yes, your flesh is struggling. Beyond prayer, what are the kind of teachings that you talk to people about to think about in a moment of struggling?
Okay. Now you see, for Muslims, our main source of information is the Quran. And Allah says, شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن. It is during this month of the Ramadan when the Quran was revealed. So we mainly teach people about the Quran, because in the Quran it is the guide to the whole humanity. So apart from just fasting, we also encourage people that while fasting, number one, you stand to earn greater rewards, because we are told that all our actions that we do, the right actions, the righteous deeds, you are given up to 10 times more. But it's only fasting that nobody knows the amount of reward they're going to get. So this motivates the person when they fast. Not only this one, you also engage in any other righteous deed. So besides the fasting, you increase in the righteousness.
Okay.
So that is, internal motivation, knowing that whatever good I am doing is being multiplied by 10.
Yes.
There's when we say the holy month of Ramadan, what it makes it the holy month of Ramadan? You've talked about the Quran being revealed.
Yes.
And then what else as well?
Apart from the Quran being revealed, the exact night which the Quran was revealed on is known as the Laylatul Qadr. Laylatul Qadr is the night of power. Quran was revealed by night, and this time the Prophet was he had excluded himself in the cave called Gharu Hira, in the cave of Hira. So by night, that was after sunset, is when Angel Gabriel came down to him with the first revelation. That is Iqra bismi rabbika alladhi khalaq. So by this, the night also received that honor. That night which is called Laylatul Qadr, Allah says in the Quran, Khayrun min alfi shahr. It's better than 1,000 months. Which means that if you do any single act on that night, then the reward you're going to be given is much better compared to somebody who did the same action for over 1,000 months, which is 83 years plus. Yeah.
Which night was this?
The night is hidden. So that the Muslims, they may struggle to try and find the night towards the end of the Ramadan. So the last 10 days of Ramadan, that's where you find that Muslims spend their nights awake for all the nights because it's not known.
So it's one of those nights that's gonna.
Yes, one of the nights.
So let me just take you back then to the story, to the history here.
Yeah.
Are we saying that Prophet Muhammad went into this period of fasting?
Yeah.
And then during one of those days of fasting, that's when the Quran was revealed unto him.
Not really so.
What are we saying?
The Quran came before the Ramadan being legislated. This is to say that sheria za Mungu hazikuja zote at once. Zimekuja gradually. Like the 5 pillars of Islam, the first pillar, that is Shahada, testimony of faith, that was the first legislation given to the Prophet. And serving as a prophet for a period of 23 years, for almost 13 years, he was preaching about Shahada, that is the testimony of faith. Then 10 years later, the second obligation came down, was the prayer. So after the prayer, 2 years later came now Ramadan. Ramadan came alongside the Zakah. Then Hajj came much later. So by the time he was being given the Quran, the fasting was still not established.
Okay.
So ilikuwa ni kusoma Quran, watu wakuwe guided on how to cleanse their faith, because most of them, they are idol worshippers. Yeah.
Well, I still want to come back to understanding the pillars better, but when you talk about rewards, it crossed my mind. Sometimes rewards could even mean clarity, right? People think rewards in terms of physical,
tangible,
in terms of tangible. Is that correct? Rewards can just be what it is.
Rewards comes in both meaning. Reward kuna ile ambayo mainly tunazungumzia reward in the hereafter. But not only in the hereafter, but even the present life also, you are rewarded by getting blessings. You see, like if you give, it's not that whatever that you're giving unapungukiwa nayo. Yeah, actually utaona ni kama imepungua, but Mwenyezi Mungu anakubadilishia nyingine better zaidi. Utatoa 100, at the end utapata maybe 1,000, unaona. So you are being rewarded also in the present life. So it's not only about the hereafter.
Can I ask a question that somebody might feel like, I fasted, I did everything right, and I still don't feel like I'm blessed. I'm still not improving. I know the other faiths, into a wilderness. You're just like, I've tried everything. How is it the same? And how do you then caution and talk to? We're humans, yeah?
Yes. Kweli mara nyingi utapata mtu unafanya kitu, you did to your level best. Lakini bado deep down your heart una feel, no, I've not done enough. This we consider it to be part of faith also. Because the moment ukajisikia kwamba mimi I've killed it, I've nailed it, hii nimefanya kweli, then itakupelekea to something called ujb, that is arrogance. Unajiona kwamba you're better than the other person.
Right.
Whereby you're always encouraged that whatever that you do, yes, you have to be hopeful that it has been accepted, lakini usiwe 100% sure kwamba ushamaliza. Because kama mwanadamu, the moment unajua kwamba ushafanya kitu umemaliza, then you relax.
True.
Yeah.
It's human nature kabisa. Like I did a good thing.
Yep.
Nimemaliza sasa.
Become complacent.
Sasa siningoje baraka.
Next year.
Next year.
In the meantime, baraka zikuja, you know, I tick the boxes. Can I ask about just this period of fasting? Are there exclusions?
Very right.
Like, are there circumstances under which somebody can be excluded from participating in the fast?
Kwa wale ambao hawezi kufunga, kuna ile sheria Mungu imepatia ruhusa kwamba wasifunge. Allah sema ala alladhina yutiqunahu fidyatun it'amu miskin. For those who are not able to fast, then they have to do something in place. Wale ambao hawezi wakafunga for one reason or another, then watafanya something in replace. That something in replace, it's either they are supposed to feed one poor person for each and every day which they're not able to fast, or they'll delay their fasting and make up for it after Ramadan. Once whatever they're going through comes to an end. And these are, for example, if you're a traveler. Kwa mtu ambaye ni msafiri, anakubaliwa sio mwenye kufunga. Anaruhusa, akitaka kufunga, atafunga. Hawezi kufunga, atachelewesha. Mtu ambaye ni mgonjwa, pia the same. Mtu ambaye pengine ni mtu mzee kwa umri, mkongwe, yeye pia the same. So these are some of the excuses or reasons when fasting is exempted.
Mwanamke mjamzito pia?
Mjamzito pia na pia anayenyonyesha. Yeah.
Okay. We talked about like what Janet was talking about, like the reward system, but then there's also like the clarity that you had mentioned. Essentially, during the day you are abstaining from food, from water, from intimacy, from essentially any bad thing, you know, lying, nana. But then what should you be spending that time doing? I know we talked about like the righteous deeds. I know, but also Islam and science are also very closely connected. And there's that clarity that comes when you're, you know, when your mind is light. What can you take advantage?
When you're pious.
Yes, when you're pious, and also when your body and your mind are clear. Yeah.
Okay, maybe mnataka nieleze kuhusu step by step ya mtu anayefunga ana spend siku yake vipi. Kitu kama hicho. So atafanya vitu, the ordinary things, the normal things. Kazi, mtu atenda kazini kawaida. Kama ni mwanafunzi atenda shule kawaida. Nothing changes. Only that katika imani yake inapanda inaenda notch higher. Whereby katika masala ya maombi lazima akue prompt. Tunajua lazima tusali 5 times a day. So hizi swala zisiwaipita for whatever reason. Another thing also, ikiwa for any free time akipata, atumie huo muda katika kusoma Quran ama kusoma anything which is beneficial. So maisha yake si kwamba ina change. Ya kwamba ikifika Ramadan basi mtu atashinda msikitini kuanzia asubuhi mpaka jioni, ama pengine akiwa nyumbani ni kulala mpaka usiku. Hapana. Maisha inakuwa tu vile routine yake, ila tu katika mambo ya maombi lazima afanye bidii zaidi.
Okay.
Yeah.
The community aspect is what I was going to go into next. Ramadan brings people together, and it's essentially it's all Muslims, but then it's the nation in a sense. I think about communities that are Muslim heavy, like Janet growing up in Mombasa. Hata kama ufungi iftar bado unatembea na sinia for some reason. Talk to me about the importance of community. Watu wakivunja the fast, iftar, and even in the morning actually. What does it mean, and why is it important to do it in a community? And the way we are living sasa, has it changed? Kila mtu labda, you know, we see it a lot with our interpersonal relationships. Everyone is living on their own, doing things on their own. Has that changed how people celebrate Eid, how people break their fasts, and all of that?
Tukizungumzia Ramadan na community ama kuleta watu pamoja, nitatoa mfano kama msikiti wetu wa Jamia. Kama Jamia tuna 2 main activities katika so many other activities ambazo tunafanya specifically katika Ramadan kwa ajili ya kuangalia community. Number 1, kuna ile tuna dry food distribution. Tunajua kuwa katika jamii kuna wale ambao wasiojiweza. Si wote wana uwezo. Na ikifika wakati wa ibada kama hivi, kuna wengi ambao pia wanapata uzito zaidi. So kama jamii ya mosque tunafanya, one of the activities ni kwamba huwa tuna distribute chakula kwa wale ambao wasiojiweza katika jamii. Na kila mwaka tuna target about 1,000 to 2,000 families. Na si Nairobi peke yake bali katika maeneo mengi, other counties also within the country. Another thing ambayo tunafanya pia physically Jamia, tuna iftari ambayo mnazungumzia. Iftari inapikwa na wanakuja watu, hakuna kuulizwa ni Muislamu ama si Muislamu. Na kuna wale ambao hata wasio Waislamu wanakuja, they come, they join us. We also have iftar together. So hii ni katika vitu ambavyo tunafanya especially during mwezi ya Ramadan for the community.
These are just people who need a meal.
Yes.
And the doors are open to them.
Yes, naam. Alafu ikija wakati wa Eid, again to the community, kuna kitu ambacho kinaitwa Zakatul-Fitr. Siku ya Eid kama leo inakuwa ni lazima kwa kila Muislamu atoe zakatul fitr kama anaweza. Hii zakatul fitr, it's not that like the other zakah of the pillar. There are two of them. The one for the pillar is called zakatul mal, for the wealth. And this other one is called zakatul fitr. Remember the Eid is called Idd-Ul-Fitr. So this zakah is mainly for this day, zakatul fitr. Zakatul fitr lazima itolewe before the Eid prayers, so that huyu masikini ambaye atakuwa mwenye kupokea hiyo zaka at least asiwe mwenye kwenda kuomba, because Eid ni celebration ya wote. Katika hii celebration vile tulifunga sote pamoja, tulishirikiana, isije katokea ubaguzi kwamba huyu ambaye pia amefikiwa na Eid kwa sababu hana uwezo aenda akajifungia ndani ya nyumba yake. So wao pia wapate ile nini, wapate kushiriki sherehe ya Eid. So ikawa zakatul fitr lazima itolewe.
So zaka nini, Sheikh?
Zaka ni kitu gani? Zaka linguistically ni purification. Number one. Zaka linguistically ni growth. So tukizungumzia zaka katika mali inakuwa purification, ya kwamba inampurify this person from whatever non-halal earnings. Ya kwamba katika earning yake kuna alitumia udanganyifu fulani, kuna makosa fulani aliyofanya. So akitoa hii zaka ina purify the shortfalls. Number two, zaka inakuwa ni growth to the giver. Ya kwamba ukitoa si kwamba unapungukiwa, bali ina grow your wealth. Zakatul fitr ina purify the person who was fasting. Ya kwamba wewe katika fasting yako, Yesu umejitahidi ukaepuka chakula, kinywaji, tendo la ndoa, lakini still ulikuwa na loose tongue, pengine ulimsemea mtu, pengine ulimsengenya, pengine ulimtukana. So makosa kama yale zakatul fitr inakuja kupurify, inasafisha yale makosa yako. And number two, also zaka inakuwa ni to feed the less amongst the people in the community.
So it's like an offering or a tithe?
It is an offering.
Okay.
Yes.
Is it, is there anything prescribed?
Yeah.
Like, must it be an animal? Must it be a certain amount of money?
For zakatul fitr, kuna time, limited time. That is, it has to be before the Eid prayer. If you give it after Eid prayer, it's just like any other charity. It doesn't fall under zakatul fitr. Number two, the amount, what you have to give. What you have to give, it has to be 2.5 kilogram per household, per member of the household. Mfano, the four of us, we have the same family. So whoever who is in charge of this family, baba tuseme Latif ndio the head of this family. So yeye akitoa atatoa 2.5% ya Janet, yake, ya Mariam na yangu.
Okay.
So itakuwa ni 10 kg. This is for this family.
For the family.
Yeah,
Family,
that's what you give.
Samahani, tulipitia the pillars.
That's
Hapana.
No,
We
we
didn't.
didn't
Okay.
go through the pillars. Okay, so it's in this sense, it's an offering that's meant to be, so the 2.5 kgs.
Yes.
And then if we're 4, that's 10 kgs. Does it have to be of a specific nimbuzi, ni nini? Tunajua mbuzi ndio nakuanga the common one. But is that
Hata
prescribed?
mbuzi haiko katika zakatul fitr. Zakatul fitr ni chakula. Chakula ambacho kinacholika katika area, be it rice ama flour, could be maize flour or wheat flour. So inataka chakula ambacho kinacholika katika area hiyo, si ya kuchinja. Kuchinja ni katika Idd-Ul-Adha, the other Eid. But for Idd-Ul-Fitr, it has to be staple food.
Staple food.
Yep.
So it's a basic, you're meeting someone's basic need.
Yes.
So, okay. With this 2.5 per head.
Per head
Okay.
in the family.
What time is the Eid prayer?
Eid prayer inategemea, inaanza from sunrise. It shouldn't be before sunrise, na isiende beyond 12 p.m. Yeah, but mostly between the two Eids, Eid-Ul-Fitr inacheleweshwa kidogo to give people more time to be able to distribute their zakah. And Eid-Ul-Adha, the other one, it has to be earlier to allow people immediately after their prayer, they go and slaughter the animal.
How are we doing for time? Because I wanted to get into the pillars and also
3
the
minutes.
sighting of the moon and the importance of that.
I think we can talk about that, the moon, because it's tied into, we are walking the journey of the Ramadan from the day we
into
started
Eid.
into Eid and celebrating Eid. And then now we can come into now the pillars of Islam. So ask the question about the moon.
Yeah, no.
Where do you want to start? From the...
We talk about
Is
how...
the moon sighted when the Ramadan is beginning, or is the moon sighted when it's ending?
Both.
Both. The Prophet says, "Sumu li ru'yatihi wa aftiru li ru'yatihi." You commence your fasting by the sighting of the crescent, and you should end your fasting by the sighting of the crescent. So what does this mean? It means that the Islamic months, normally it's either 29 days or 30 days. Like before Ramadan, it is called Sha'ban. After Ramadan, it's called Shawwal. So if Sha'ban goes up to 30 days, we don't have to look for the moon. If Ramadan will go up to 30 days, we also don't have to look for the moon. But from the 29th day, we have to search the crescent. So if Sha'ban is 29, then we are able to sight the moon, then it is declared that Ramadan starts from the next day. Equally so, if Ramadan is the 29th day of Ramadan, the moon is sighted, it is declared that the next day should be Idd-Ul-Fitr. So that is about the sighting. But again, for this sighting, there are difference of opinion. We have two major opinions. And this one is based on they call it ikhtilaf al-matali', the rising of the moon. The rising of the moon, or the birth of the moon. Because it depends with the time zone.
Yeah.
Some people, they may be able to sight the crescent. In other areas, they'll not be able to sight the crescent. So for this, ikatokea two main opinions. One is una follow moon from wherever it is being sighted.
Okay.
And the second opinion is lazima ikuwe sighted locally. Yes. So you need the two different opinions.
I think we can...
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
When we come back to talk, we'll talk about
Yeah.
Hapa Nyumbani. Which
one?
Which school of thought? Yes,
Is dominant.
Is dominant.
You know, I was about to ask him, when does madrasa end? Because I just feel like I feel like I'm in madrasa right now. But we are speaking to Ratib Abdunoor just to learn more about Eid, about Ramadan, about giving. So we'll come back, learn about the pillars of Islam, but also just think through giving. I mean, he's shared quite a bit, but really trying to root us in the spirit of giving and kindness and community. We'll be back after this short break.
What's up, nation? This is Vincent from Nakuru County, and I am fixing the nation by teaching children between the age of 6 to 12 years the art of public speaking. And this is my message to the youths, especially Egerton University psychology students, that be good mentors, be good role models, and remember to stay mentally healthy.
Welcome back to Fixing the Nation. Of course, we are live on Nation FM, on NTV, on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, anywhere with a broadcast or internet signal. Continue sending us your WhatsApp Nation videos. We love to see and hear from fixers. Our number remains 0769 590 762. 0769 590 762. Easy as that. And of course, we're back in conversation with Sheikh Ratib Abdunoor from Jamia Mosque, discussing Eid, Ramadan, the spirit of giving, the importance of this holy month, and of course, how we can all participate in this season of giving. Just before we went on the break, we were talking about the sighting of the moon and the two schools of thought around it. That marks the end of Ramadan, and we can, now celebrate Eid. He talked about the idea of either you celebrate as long as the moon has been sighted somewhere, or you sight it locally. So walk us through what informs those two schools of thought, and then which one is prevalent or being followed.
And who's the authority in sighting?
Yes.
Okay. So tukianzia mwanzo tumesema the prophet said sumu li ru'yatihi wa aftiru li ru'yatihi. Tunaanza kufunga mwezi ukionekana. Tunamaliza kufunga mwezi ukionekana. Now, wakati huo hakuwa na teknolojia. Na iliwahi tokea ya kwamba watu wa Madina pengine wanaanza kufunga before earlier, na watu wengine pengine wasiri wanafunga a day later, or vice versa. Hii ilitokea. But now sasa kwa wakati wetu huu ikaja kwamba kuna advancement ya teknolojia, kwamba information inafika instantly, mwezi umeonekana from whichever part of the world. Je, sasa tufuate kwamba lazima tu follow local sighting, ama as long as tumepata information kwamba mwezi umeonekana tunafuata? So that's why I said kuna hizo two opinions. For us here kama Kenya sasa, Chief Kadhi yendo kama spokesman ama representative wa the Muslim community to the government. So Chief Kadhi pamoja na kwamba sio katika doketi yake masala ya mwezi, kwa sababu mainly Kadhi's court deal 3 things: kuna marriage, kuna divorce na inheritance. But ile kupatikana leadership, yeye ndiye akawa anazungumza on behalf of the Muslims ya kwamba according to our area, because majority of us we follow the school thought of Shafia. Katika Uislamu tuko na the 4 major schools of thoughts. We have the Abu Hanifa, Malik, Shafi and Hanbali. So hiyo kidogo inaweza changanya watu. But yetu hapa mainly ile majority wanafuata ile local sighting. Lakini pia kuna wale ambao wanaochipuka wanaosoma wakafuatia evidence ya sheria wakasema hapana, hiyo ilitokea the difference because wale watu wa kitambo hawako wanapata information mapema. Lakini ikiwa information imekufikia, furthermore kuna maeneo ambayo tuko na same time zone na wao. Ikiwa sahi ni 1:30 kwao ni 1:30, the same day, the same time, kwa nini kuwa na difference? So hata kwao kukionekana mwezi, kwetu pia ni the same, tutafuatilia. So that is what
causes that.
Yeah.
Is it a major bone of contention?
Not really. Not really. It's not. Only that wale ambao wasiokuwa na elimu walichukulia ni kama so personal. Lakini it's there, the differences are there. Yeah, it's not something major.
Did we see it last year?
Every year.
Okay.
It's every year.
But then essentially it's a few hours difference when you think about it. I don't think with time zones and everything itafika a day, but it's maybe that we take it to be a much bigger deal because you're looking at it from the outside. But just to be clear, you end Ramadan when the moon is sighted, not when you're done with 30 days or 29. It's sighting of the moon.
Sighting of the moon, failure to which you have to complete 30 days. Yep.
Okay, so one or the other comes first.
Yes.
Either you sight the moon or you complete 30 days.
Yeah.
All right. We were going into the 5 pillars of Islam.
Yes.
I think that's a good place. And then we've talked about zakat a little bit, but walk us through the pillars of Islam.
Okay, there are 5 pillars of Islam. Islam, the Prophet said, they gave an example of like a structure, saying that Bunya al-Islam ala khams. Islam, like a structure, is built on 5 pillars. Pillar number 1 ni shahada, testimony of faith. That is the first step. Mtu ikiwa anataka kujoin Islam, anaelekezwa, anakuwa guided to pronounce the shahada. In the shahada, mainly you attest that none is worthy of worship except Allah and Muhammad is his final messenger. Once you proclaim that one and you believe in it, then you're pronounced to be a Muslim. So that is shahada. Pillar number 2 is prayers, the salah. So you have to do it 5 times a day. Pillar number 3 is called the zakah. Zakah involve wealth, whereby katika community hatuko sote the same level in our earnings or whatever that we possess. So wale ambao wako na kiasi ya mali ambaye imefika kiwango kinachohitajika kisheria, so they are bound to give 2.5% of their wealth each and every year, wapatia wale ambao wasiojiweza katika jamii. Hii ni zakah.
2% of wealth.
2% of your wealth. And then pillar number 4 ndio hii fasting tumezungumzia Ramadan. Pillar number 5 ni pilgrimage, ambayo ni hajj. Once in your lifetime you have to go for a pilgrimage. Also if you are able to.
Kuuliza swali ya ujinga. Unajuaje kama wewe ni umefika mahali pa kupeana ama unafaa kukipa msaada?
Si swali la ujinga, bali kila kitu imebainishwa wazi ya kwamba hii wealth inafaa kuwa ni huge amount of wealth, si kidogo, kwa sababu kuna specific types of wealth ambazo zinaangaliwa. Mfano katika animals, ikiwa mtu ni mfugaji. Kuna matajiri kwa upande wa ufugaji na kuna matajiri upande wa ukulima, matajiri upande wa biashara, matajiri upande wa aina mbalimbali. So ikiwa ni mfugaji mfano na ako na wanyama, ako na tuseme kama ngamia. So for the ngamia, the least amount is 5. Uko na 4 camels, you don't give zakah. So from 5 camels you have to give. Not a whole camel, but tunatoa mbuzi. For the cattle, kama uko na 30 of them, uko na ng'ombe 30, you give at least 1 calf, 1 year old calf. Less than 30 you don't give. Mbuzi na kondoo you give from 40 onwards. Chini ya hiyo hufai kutoa, hulazimiki kutoa. Ikija upande wa pesa pengine, kwa sababu ndio mainly watu wanatumia, pesa hii inaangaliwa katika savings zako. See whatever that you earn immediately you have to give out, but inaangaliwa from the savings. Because one of the conditions also ni kwamba whatever that you have lazima uwe nayo for a period of 12 months. Iwe under your custody for a period of 12 months. So mfano kama pesa tunaangalia the amount of gold and silver equivalent to it. For the gold, 85 grams of gold. So pesa zako ikiwa inakuwa worth of 85 grams of gold, utatolea zaka. Mfano saizi kama gold gram moja ni around sijui ni ngapi, but 85 grams previously tukiangalia, unaweza angalia. So per gram ukiangalia the value of 1 gram by 85, that total amount ikiwa cash yenye uko nayo umeweka nayo for a whole year, then lazima utoe 2.5% of that. Yeah.
So is it per year?
1 gram of gold ni 20,780.
So 20 by 85.
20,000 by 85.
Yeah.
100 and...
That's 1.6.
Sorry. 1.65.
Yeah.
And you're giving, when is that you give? This is...
You see, so for 1.6, unatoa 2.5% of it.
I see.
After a year. Na nani ambao naupewa, tuko na 8 groups of people ambao the eligible recipients for the zakah.
Okay. And you know, there's so many things that are changing in society. Yeah. So I'm wondering, now that we're tackling things like rising divorce cases, increased need for things like therapy, what is the extension of grace for those kinds of things or people? Whether it's in the month of Ramadan, whether it's just in Islam. For example, I know there's some places now that are doing something like, what is it called? I think it's like divorce care. That's just an example. It's having to adjust with the needs of people, of society. What does that look like in Islam, or is it dealt with in a different way?
Okay, unaona katika Uislamu tukianza from the onset of it, tumezungumzia zaka ambayo ni kugive. So it is something continuous. It's not only about Ramadan we are supposed to give. Sio katika Ramadhani peke yake. So hii zaka watu wanatoa different timings. Ya kwamba ikiwa utaanza kutoa zaka yako, let's say March 2026, so every March in every year ndio utakuwa unatoa zaka. Na watu wanatoa kulingamana na timing zao tofauti. So the giving continues. Another thing, apart from just the zaka, hata kama pengine mali ulionayo haitoshi kiwango cha kutolea zaka, haimaanishi kwamba hutatoa. Tumesema Zakatul-Fitr utatoa. Zakatul-Fitr hii sio the same amount kama ile ya zakatul mal, kwa sababu hata kiwango kidogo tu, ya kwamba as long as uko na chakula chako ya siku ya Eid kama leo, uko na anything extra, from that extra you have to give. Another thing, tunakuwa encouraged, especially wale ambao ni vulnerables katika community, especially the orphans. Hawa katika community tunaambiwa lazima tuenye kuwasaidia. Wale ambao ni widows wanafaa kusaidiwa. So all these katika Uislamu throughout tunaambiwa kuwa ni mwenye kusaidia. Finally, pengine tu aya moja, Allah anasema mathalu ladhina yunfiquna amwalahum fi sabilillahi kamathali habatin ambatat sab'a sanabila fi kulli sunbulatin mi'atu habba. Mfano wale ambao wanatoa katika kuwasaidia wasiojiweza katika jamii ni mfano wa mbegu moja ambao ukiweka chini ya ardhi inatoa kama mahindi. Kila hindi liko na ile koni yake. Kon moja iko na 100 seeds in it. Una imagine only one imetoa 100 na ziko 707 of them. So in total kuna kama 700. So you give one, umeplant one seed by giving to the needy, In return unapata more than 700 times more. So wanakuwa encouraged kwamba hao wasiojiweza katika jamii wenye kusaidiwa.
Kifikiria how you mentioned, like, now we have technology, so you're able to trust someone sighting the moon and say, you know what, imeonekana pale. Then there's also now the changing face of how we interact with religion, and Islam has remained like very steadfast throughout. Do you ever get any push for modernization? I don't know how to explain, and it's not to change the religion, but maybe to incorporate more modern, evolve. Yeah. I think that's the word.
Yeah.
To evolve. And let me think of an example. It starts with like small things like, oh, maybe how you do the khutbah or something of the sort. Is it coming through an app as opposed to the way you would regularly do it? Are there those things happening within the mosque?
Kama dini tuna embrace technology. Kuna some things lazima zibaki vile zilivyo.
Yeah.
Na kuna others tunaweza kuembrace teknolojia. So kama khutba lazima ibaki vile ilivyo.
Khutba ni nini?
Khutba ni sermon.
Okay.
The sermon. So Friday tukienda prayers lazima itanguliwe na the sermon. So for that one it has to remain the way it is.
It has to be live.
Yes, it has to be
live. It can't
live.
be recorded.
It cannot be recorded.
So
it has to be live.
Can it be streamed live?
Yeah, it is streamed. Okay. Like for us, Jamii normally stream our khutbah. Yeah. So kuna vitu kama, let's come to the moon sighting now. The moon sighting tume embrace teknolojia. Whereby hata wale ambao wanaoangalia moon, you cannot see it with their naked eyes. So wanatumia some microscope, wanatumia na nini. So that is also allowed. So that is part of embracing technology. Yeah. So katika Uislamu kuna vitu ambavyo vinakubali you evolve, kuna vingine lazima baki vile ilivyokuwa.
Ulisema kwanza vile ulianza mandate yako Jamia ni propagation.
Yep.
That was, ndio. Something that was quite beautiful to see about 2 years ago and last year as well in June and July during Maandamano was, for a lot of people, Jamia Mosque became a safe space. In the midst of all the chaos. And a lot of people said, hey, tumefungiwa milango kwingine, but here the doors were open. Why was that decision made? I know it was probably, I don't know if it was even a decision, an active decision, ama ni kawaida to, you see something or a place where you can help and you help. Was it a decision, a conscious one? And if so, why was it made to open those doors? And what does Islam say about things like sheltering people and matters human rights and things like that? Does that have a place as well in Islam?
Okay, kucomment kuhusu incident ya maandamano, it was not a decision made. Ni kitu tu ili happen. Jamia, the doors are always open to all. Unless tu kama mtu akija kama ako pengine hayuko sawa, tuseme amekuja na fujo, then hapo ndio action itakuwa taken against them. But the doors are always open to all. Always tuna tourists wanakuja wanatembelea msikiti. By the way, Jamia imekuwa gazetted kama one of the historical sites. So tourists wakija na UNESCO, yeah. Watu wakija kama tourists, Jamia ni katika part of their visiting areas. So tuna watu na walk in, they walk out always. So it's open to all. Na kwa sababu ya Uislamu, we are not allowed to segregate. Mtu akiwa in need, you have to help them regardless of their faith. So humanity inakuja first, because one of the main objectives of the Sharia law ni protection of the life. Hiyo ni katika part of the objectives. So ilipotokea hiyo, ikawa tu mlango, walifunguliwa mlango kwa sababu kwingine kote kumefungwa, watu wanapigwa, watu wameumia, ikawa hatuna namna ila kuwasaidia. Mlango ukafunguliwa, kaingia, na pale uzuri tulikuwa na paramedics wakawasaidia, tulikuwa na another kulikuwa na hospitali pale nyuma, madaktari wakaja wakawasaidia. So all of a sudden ikatana kwa nini rescue center ya kuwasaidia watu. And that is what happened. Na uzuri pia management, they are inclined to it also. Hakuna mwenye alikataa wala nini, wakasema it's okay, this is part of our mission as a mosque. Ya kwamba tuko hapa for all. Na sijui swali lingine kwa gani?
Human rights.
Yeah,
the broader.
I think he's spoken to
he's
it. Yeah,
spoken to
'cause
it,
he said, yeah. It's
Broader push for rights,
For
huh?
all. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I want to go back into the doctrine and all. Why do you have so many sects in Islam, and how many do you have? So we have Sunni, Shia.
You say
what are
so
those?
many,
Ismaili,
ni kama unajua wote.
Bahai. Nani hao?
Eh?
And how do they emerge? Because I know in Christianity we are also the same.
Yeah.
But in Islam, how do they come about? And
Okay.
which one is dominant in Kenya?
Okay. So to start off, the dominant is the Ahlus Sunnah al Jama'ah. Ahlus Sunnah al Jama'ah, these are the people. Sunnah means following the Prophet's way. Jama'ah, bringing people together. So this is the dominant sect. And number two, where did these sects come from? The original one is the Ahlus Sunnah al Jama'ah, because we say we follow the Prophet's way. What he used to believe in, what he used to preach, what he used to practice. A Jama'ah, these are now the people who came after him. His followers, the companions, the students of the companions, that is the Jama'ah. Then later on, during the leadership of the third Khalifa, the third Caliphate, that is the Uthman, that's where now the community started to break into some different sects. Some rebels, they came up wakiwa against the leadership of Uthman. So we call them the rebels because the original term is Khawarij. So what they did, they were fighting against Uthman, claiming that the person who was supposed to be the leader after Umar or after the Prophet should be Ali. So that was their first, or that is hiyo ndio call yao. Yes, the bone of contention. Ilikuwa mambo na leadership. So from Shia, ndio kuna Bohoraz, kuna Ismailia, kuna Jafari, kuna Zaidia, kuna Ithna Sharia, only from the Shia. Yes. From the Sunni, we only have the four schools of thoughts. Ambayo nimesema Maliki, Hanafi, Shafi'i na Hanbali. Yeah.
Okay. Meshika.
Is there a major difference?
Not really.
All of them do Ramadan.
Yes.
When Ramadan is being marked, all will mark Ramadan at the same time.
Yes.
And when it's about like the five pillars apply to all.
Yep.
Pilgrimage, they'll go to the same place, or do they go to a different place for pilgrimage?
For the Shia now, yes, ultimately they go to Mecca, the same place, but they also have another place which they say it's equivalent to going to Mecca. Yeah, so it's like they divert Karbala. Alafu about timing, kwa hivyo mtu wakati wote tu ukisikia Ramadhani imefika, jua what comes at the end
is
Eid. Ukisikia watu wako katika Hajj, what will come at the end will be the Eid also. But specifically now, because we have the Islamic calendar, Idd-Ul-Fitr, it's normally the first day of the month of Shawwal. That is the 10th month. So 1-10, that is Idd-Ul-Fitr. And then the 10th day of Dhul Hijjah, that is Eid-Ul-Adha. So the 10th and then 12, that is the 12th month, that will be Eid-Ul-Adha.
Thank you, because that's what I was going to go into. Walk us through the Islamic calendar, the differences with this
calendar.
Gregorian calendar. Yeah.
Islamic calendar ilianza after Hijrah. The Prophet was born and raised in Mecca. Then he stayed there for 53 years. Then he went to Medina for 10 years. So Islamic calendar ilianza from the time of his migration. So the Islamic calendar, call it Hijri calendar. The other calendar, the Gregorian, we call it Miladiya, because according to us, we are told that from the time of the birth of Jesus. So that is the Gregorian calendar. We call it Miladiya. The Hijri calendar, it depends on the sighting of the crescent.
And that's where now the change comes in, and because when you're looking at it from the Gregorian calendar, it doesn't seem like it's a stagnant month, but it is.
Yes.
In the Islamic calendar.
Yes. You see, for the Gregorian, we have 365 days.
Yes.
That
And a
is
quarter.
stagnant.
And a quarter,
And
yeah.
a quarter, okay. But for the Islamic, you minus from that about 10 or 8 days. Every year there's 8 or 10 days. That's why it keeps on changing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like there was a time we used to fast during the month of August. Sometimes we used to do it in October.
Yeah,
but it keeps on coming back.
Yeah.
It's come all the way. So kuna siku mtafast December.
Yeah. Iko.
That's how it
That's how it goes.
Eid the Christmas
Yeah,
Which is actually what I was going to ask.
Imeshaitokea Eid Christmas the same day.
And we've had Eid and Lent happening. This one.
Yeah.
Not Eid, sorry. Yes, it is. No?
Ramadan
and Lent.
Yes.
For the first time, I think, in 30 years. Was it?
Yeah, I think so. It's been a long time since they've conquered.
Yes.
Or, Chinese New Year's. It's all happening at once. But there's a question that is escaping me, and I was just thinking about how it may escape, but it was about essentially the fact that we are there's more than 2 billion Muslims almost, right? Across the world,
yes.
right? And we're living in a time of open borders, opening everything. When you think of celebrating Eid nationwide, how we are doing it right now, is there anything that should be done more communally, more from a, what do they call it? A government perspective, a national perspective, to sort of mark this holiday?
I think from the government side, what they do, they recognize their Eid celebration and to make it national thing, a national event, or to put a public holiday.
That's a great place to end it. Thank you so much for joining us and really enlightening us. We appreciate that. Ratib Abdunoor just talking to us about Eid, about Ramadan, really about Islam, and centering it on the spirit of community and giving. In the next hour, we talk about Down syndrome. We also just pay attention to people whose voices we don't often hear. We need to learn about them. We need to embrace them. We need to understand them. That's coming up in just a moment. Stay with us. We'll be back in a bit.